Welcome to base camp, welcome to RMI.
With nurture like this,
We'll just make sure that this is flush.
nature comes easy. Guidance from a guide service that's up there with Gates and Griffey.
Climbing royalty? Is that how it's been described to me?
These mountain men are hoping to stand on Washington's highest peak. To get there, they'll be standing on the shoulders of a legend.
Well, there's been a guide service on Mount Rainier since the early 1900s.
Peter Whittaker is the son of Lou Whittaker. Lou launched Rainier Mountaineering, RMI, 50 years ago, a company designed to make the mountain manageable to groups of people like this. Preparation started last week. An early season summit is the goal. If successful, they'd be the first to do it this year. It's a 4-day program to 14,000 feet.
Look alive, you're on TV.
Lead RMI guide for the journey is Dominic Cifelli.
Just watch me for now.
He'll be at the head of the rope.
It's not always guaranteed that we get to the top.
He knows he's following in the footsteps of a family of guides who blazed the trail.
Whitaker is synonymous with mountaineering in Washington.
Lou Whittaker was born in Seattle and drawn to the snow. He summited Rainier over 250 times. He never personally summited Mount Everest, but 40 years ago on the world's highest mountain, he guided a teammate to the top, the first American to get there from the north side. Lou described the elation after the adventure in 1984.
We yelled and then we cried because it had been a couple of months of hard work, and there were tears of happiness. We all stood around, hugged each other and patted each other in the back because it was a team effort and we'd helped get him there.
That's how the Whittakers are wired, helping others climb high.
You can be the best climber in the world, but that doesn't make you a good guide. You have to have empathy, patience, really like people. That was my father.
Lou was a larger-than-life figure who grew his company into the largest expedition service in North America.
Before he died, he wanted to know not just what it was to live, but what it was to fully live.
Lou lived a life so full, his legacy lives on. RMI gives 3,000 people a year a core memory, a peak experience on Rainier. The guide group now runs 60 deep.
I want to welcome you to the Whittaker Mountaineering Summit Club.
It includes his son, who's guided professionally since he was 16.
We're kind of the portal to the mountains.
Peter's also the CEO, and he's helped business boom. The gear is top tier. The customers treated like kings.
Make their experience as best as possible through tricks for conditioning, techniques for climbing, and just the whole overall experience.
Lou set the foundation, and Peter's taken it into the future. An evolution, not just happening under the shade of the trees in Ashford. The Whittaker family tree touches further to Lou's nephew up north.
I take Pete Carroll's wisdom to heart and just try to be positive, be supportive. That's the type of coach I am.
39-year-old Leif Whittaker is into his coaching chapter as well, not as a guide,
One thing I think is that's smart to do in your training.
but as a fitness guru, helping people develop a well-conditioned base before getting to base camp.
I want to build people up and make them believe that they can go climb this mountain.
Let's see.
The real work happens here.
This application can be a little buggy sometimes.
From his parents' home in Port Townsend, he's connecting with clients around the world, taking special interest in a group of climbers currently on Everest,
Courtney trained really hard.
including a woman from Seattle.
The mountains around here in the Northwest are ideal training ground.
Leif himself has been to the world's highest peak before. He one-upped his Uncle Lou.
I may have climbed Everest twice, but I would say it was twice as easy, at least. So
The technology is better,
so you can go in and get some pretty detailed metrics.
with heart rate tracking and the understanding of aerobic thresholds. In more simple terms, the path is paved.
It was so much damn harder back then, man. Like everything was harder back in the day.
Back in the day feels like yesterday to one member of the Whittaker family.
Joseph, you're a great, meticulous hairdresser.
Leif's dad, Jim Whittaker.
Feel like I've almost lost half of who I am.
Jim's love for the outdoors was identical to Lou's, and so was his DNA.
They come up and say how sorry they are that I lost my twin brother.
Jim said he and Lou were womb mates for 9 months, then bunk mates for 1,140.
One blow.
They spent their 95th birthday in February, together with family.
We both celebrated that with rum and coke. What the hell?
They had earned it,
We got it.
raising a glass to triumphs, like 6 decades ago.
And these shots are base camp on Everest 1963.
when Jim raised the first American flag on the summit of Everest. But more importantly, raising a glass to the sons they raised.
I think you can't really have grown up as the son of Jim or Lou Whittaker and not feel some sense of responsibility.
My uncle and father are these huge mountaineers, and they've done so much for American mountaineering. You know, how am I going to outperform them or even meet the level that they got to?
All we can do is try to meet that and do our best to carry that on in our own way.
With fathers who were scaling summits, Leif and Peter had no choice but to look up to them. They found looking out for others is even more rewarding.
You're not only doing good things with your family, but you're beginning to do things for other people and the world.
Nature always came natural to the Whittakers.
It's a part of my nature. It's a part of my blood.
But it's nurture that's become the next step.
My dad up there right now is pretty happy that the legacy is continuing on.
With photojournalist Joseph Huerta, I'm Jake Garcia.